friends mentioned about war, women suffering during war. So wars usually started by men, but women and children are the most sufferers of those conditions. So our hearts with those women and children. Okay, if I want to talk about problems that women face in Turkey, I can summarize in 2 words: domestic violence. But before coming to that, I would like to mention briefly about what women's rights established when modern Turkey established in 1923. So Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, who was the founder of modern Turkey, once he established the republic, he performed several reforms and changed laws in giving rights to women, mostly. For example, there was a civil law approved in 1926 that was providing equality before the law. It also replaced religious marriage with civil marriage, made polygamy illegal, and gave women equal rights of inheritance, guardianship of children, and divorce, and marriage of minors was abolished with that law. Also in 1930, Turkish women were granted suffrage in local elections held that year. In 1934, Turkish women were among the first in Europe to achieve the right to vote and run for elected office through a constitutional amendment. The women in France and Italy achieved this emancipation in 1946, and that of Switzerland in 1971. So Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was such a leader that he taught the benefits of women more than women. Besides the laws he established, he emphasized and imposed the role of women for the development of community in his many speeches. For example, in 1923, he said, "The main reason of our social failures is our lack of care for the development of women. The essence of life is activity, and the social body remains paralyzed if only one of its organs functions and the other does not. Therefore, Turkish women owe him a lot." So if we come to domestic violence, which is more problem these days, when we say domestic violence, is the violence women expose from their close relatives, husbands or partners. 4 in every 10 Turkish women were exposed to violence at some point of their life. 75% of divorced or separated women were exposed to violence. Exposure to violence was inversely proportional to the education level. But this is also true for almost every country in the world. So domestic violence is a pandemic. So we talk a little bit about numbers. Sorry, this is Turkish, I got from Turkish sources. The woman exposed mostly psychological violence, and secondly physical, and then economic and sexual insults comes. And there is a term, femicides. So those are the women killed by their relatives as a consequence of this domestic violence. So this graph shows yearly, starting from 2018 until last year. So almost every day, one woman is killed by their relatives. And how they are killed? They are killed mostly by firearms, and secondly by sharp items. And as I said, the femicides mostly by husbands or partners. So even women are divorced, they may get killed. So that's the tragic part. But as I said, this is not so different in other countries. So there is a femicide rate, which is the death rate per 100,000 women. And there is a United Nations study about that, and I picked some countries So like in Mexico, it's 6.2. But I'm not sure all those rates are because of domestic violence or the woman killed in the country for other circumstances too. So, but still, the numbers are quite drastic. Like in Brazil, it's 3.5. Russia, 3.3. United States, 2.9. And it goes down, and Turkey is 1, although it's a big problem in the country. Still, the femicide rate looks reasonable compared to other countries. So, as I said, it's a pandemic. So one of the main reasons of this violence is lack of adequate or impulsive punishments. The law is not a deterrent. Perpetrators use the gaps in law. So the laws, those punishment mechanisms should be strengthened or improved. And lastly, I want to talk about this convention. There was a convention in 2011 in Istanbul, Turkey, to deal with this pandemic, actually. And it's a convention which is a human rights treaty of the Council of Europe opposing violence against women and domestic violence that was open for signature, as I said, in 2011. On March 2012, Turkey became the first country to ratify the convention. The convention aims at prevention of violence, victim protection, and to end the impunity of perpetrators. Convention came into force on August 2014. As of March 2019, it has been signed by 45 countries and the European Union. So this convention is the first legally binding instrument which creates a comprehensive legal framework and approach to combat violence against women, and is focused on preventing domestic violence, protecting victims, and prosecuting accused offenders. So surprisingly and disappointingly, Turkey became the first and only country to withdraw from the convention in 2021. Well, thank you for listening. Wish you all a violence-free life.